What's up, everybody? Tons of news to talk about today here on the channel. I'm Jason. This is Mike Drub Sports. Let's dive right into it all. And that's the Steelers firing Matt Canada. Also, after rewatching the game, I see a lot of holes and a lot of problems still going on with this offensive line. Also, Kenny Pickett, his poor play. And now that Matt Canada has been fired, it's all on him. And let's start with that. Let's start with the Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett dynamic. Now that Matt Canada is gone. Now that there's no more excuses for Kenny Pickett. Now that Kenny Pickett is free of Matt Canada, the Steelers are going to be looking to him to really start to grow. They're going to say, hey, bro, we've gotten rid of the common denominator from like 5 different quarterbacks. You've had, Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, Ben Roethlisberger. I think even Devlin Hodges was in there. I'm not 1,000% sure. But, yeah, and then you have Kenny Pickett. So 4 to 5 quarterbacks that Matt Canada has been the common denominator of poor performances. So, you get rid of him. And we've been calling for it. We talked about on the channel yesterday, we said in yesterday's show, that Mike Tomlin needed to come in this week, yesterday, today, and make a big statement to that locker room. And he did just that. And he fired the offensive coordinator. Players were starting to speak out about it, guys. Players were starting to get vocal. And that's not good. And that's where I was talking about yesterday, Mike Tomlin losing this team, losing that locker room. It was all because I thought that the players were starting to get vocal in the public, vocal in the media, and starting to say things that typically they wouldn't say under Mike Tomlin's watch. And I felt like that was a little bit of a team rebelling against its coach. A team that was saying to its coach, hey, we see a problem and it needs fixed and we need you to fix it. Kind of screaming out, like a kid screaming out for help whenever nobody's noticing. That's what it seemed like to me with Matt Canada's situation inside that locker room. You had last year Chris Boswell on video coming into the Steelers locker room talking about, yeah, it wasn't because of you after a win when Matt Canada was hype. You had Najee Harris in the media yesterday or Sunday after the game in Cleveland talking about Matt Canada. Maybe not using the exact words, but when the media is asking him those tough questions, he's answering them. He's giving you the answers. His body language, his responses. He was telling you that Matt Canada was a problem. And then you turn to Kenny Pickett, a guy that I think has had his growth stunted by a poor offensive coordinator. A guy that has been handcuffed, which is no excuse, guys, for his play. His play has been horrible. His play has been so subpar, it's not even serviceable as an NFL quarterback. Kenny Pickett misses open receivers. Kenny Pickett continues to go to the check down, continues to go through his progressions in a way that doesn't suit an NFL quarterback. And now, yes, there are problems. There is tons of pressure in his face. Like we talked about in the intro, the offensive line still does have a ton of problems. But Kenny Pickett still has to be better. An NFL quarterback has to be able to put the team on his shoulders at times and get them through muddy waters. It's just what he has to do. It's what the team needs. It's what any NFL team needs. It needs a leader. It needs a guy that they can turn to when times are tough. And that's what an NFL quarterback has to be. And Kenny Pickett has shown late in the games and fourth quarters that he can do those types of things. But he does lack arm talent. He does lack his ability to mentally process the game. And I'm not sure if the firing of Matt Canada is going to be the end-all cure-all for Kenny Pickett. I just don't think it's possible that it's that simple. That Kenny Pickett now all of a sudden becomes an elite NFL quarterback, I don't think that will happen. Do I think that he could get better and serviceable? I do. I do think he could become a serviceable quarterback. But you see a lot of these shows out there, a lot of these Steelers channels, a lot of these guys that talk Steelers, saying that Kenny could be a lot better if it wasn't for Matt Canada, and he could just shine, and all of a sudden he's going to be great. I don't think that that's the case. And then you do have shows out there that say, too, hey, Kenny doesn't play well enough. He's not going to be any better. This is it for Kenny Pickett. This is his ceiling. So there's a mixed bag amongst the fan base, amongst the media, amongst the national media. It's a mixed bag on Kenny Pickett. And we are now going to get to see what happens when the common denominator of Matt Canada is taken out of the equation. The Steelers are going to turn to Eddie Faulkner, the running backs coach, to be the true offensive coordinator of this ball club. You're also going to see Mike Sullivan take control of the play calling duties on Sundays. And now I ask myself the question, does this mean that the Steelers are going to come out and be different? Are they going to start utilizing all of the field? Are they going to stop taking everything from the hash to the boundary? And that's the only way they play on the pass game. Are they going to stop that? Are they going to start to mix up their formations? Maybe perhaps they're going to allow Kenny Pickett to have more free reign. More time in calling his own plays. More time in running a tempo type offense. Maybe mix things up with a guy like Jaylen Warren and giving him not more than 9 carries in a game. Maybe taking your best assets, a George Pickens, a Jaylen Warren, a Deontay Johnson, a Calvin Austin, a Pat Freiermuth, and utilizing their skill sets. Maybe coming in bigger sets, using 3 tight ends, 2 tight ends, and making things a little bit more exotic. And quit being so predictable. Is that what this means? The Matt Canada firing? Is that what's going to happen? And will that benefit Kenny Pickett? I think it could. And I remember a team, who was that? Baltimore. Baltimore made a call to Jim Caldwell and brought him up and promoted him to offensive coordinator after firing theirs mid-season. And what did that do for the Baltimore Ravens? It got them to a Super Bowl. Do I think that that's the same thing that's going to happen for the Steelers? Absolutely not. But I think it could provide a spark. You saw the Bills just fire a guy, and Ken Dorsey, their offensive coordinator. And that provided a spark the next game. So I do think it's going to provide a spark. I do think the Steelers will come out Sunday, and I think they'll put on a good show against the Cincinnati Bengals that are minus Joe Burrow. And I think the Steelers win that football game and start down a path that they could really control their own destiny. If the playoffs started today, the Steelers are in it. So the Steelers are in the driver's seat. They can control where they go for this season. Could they make this game in Baltimore at the end of the regular season mean something? I said yesterday on the channel that you needed to circle that football game and put it on the board in the locker room and write right underneath it, I want this game to mean something. I want this game in Baltimore to decide who wins this division. And I think if you're Mike Tomlin, that would be a big-time message to send to the team. I think it would fire up a team. I think it would get them focused on that path to head down to that road to next time they take a trip to Baltimore to make it matter, to make it mean something. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, now that they've gotten rid of Matt Canada, could really shine. But I don't think that it's going to make Kenny Pickett an elite passer all of a sudden. I don't think it's going to make Kenny Pickett an elite NFL quarterback with a click of a finger, with a magic wand wave. I don't think that. But you could visibly tell Sunday with Mike Tomlin's press conference that something was brewing. I had a hunch. But I didn't want to just openly say it here on the channel. But that was what I was talking about when I said yesterday I thought something big, or I think Mike Tomlin needs to do something big. Needs to make a big splash inside that locker room. That's what I was talking about, guys. I thought something was going to happen. It was a benching of Kenny Pickett, or a firing of Matt Canada, or a change around of who calls plays. I just thought something was going to happen. The way Mike Tomlin came into that press conference, the way he talked to the media was just different. You could see that he had had enough of whatever it is. We didn't know. I didn't know. But I knew something was coming down the pipe. I knew there was some sort of change. And that Kenny Pickett might have been in trouble. He might have been the guy to take a seat. Then Matt Canada, he's been the common denominator throughout all these quarterbacks, throughout his whole tenure as the Steelers coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He's been the common denominator of the lack of success. And it's so unlike the Steelers. They haven't done anything like this since 1941 when they were the Steagles. They haven't fired a coordinator in season since then. That tells you that sometimes the Steelers, as an organization, are loyal to a fault. that sometimes they are too loyal. And I do think that that's a problem too. And that starts with the Rooneys. We had some great commenters. One, Perry Ellis, he brought up some good points. He brought up about how the Rooneys are always trying to get shit on the cheap, bring coaches in on the cheap. And that's what Matt Canada was, a hire on the cheap. And that's why he was staying. And I think that could hold a little bit of truth to it. And I wanted to add a little bit to that, to what he was saying about that. I think the Rooneys are stuck in the 70s. And I think that they think a certain way, a Steeler way of playing football will always work no matter what. And to an extent it does. It provides a good base. I agree with that. It provides an excellent base and a stable atmosphere to build your organization off of. But if you're an organization in the NFL, you have to try to progress. You have to try to come up with new and innovative ways to get down the field. New and innovative ways to score. And I don't think the Steelers have done that. And now maybe with the firing of Matt Canada, the toss-up here in the offense, maybe now Kenny Pickett will be allowed to shine. Maybe he won't be ultra focused on worrying about, hey, I can't turn the ball over. I got to be very vanilla. I got to be very basic. I can't come out of this call. I can't check into this. Maybe that'll change. And we shall soon see, my friends, real quick, what this is going to do for the Steelers. And now I want to talk about something else that I think is plaguing this offense. We all know Matt Canada's bad. He's been fired. We all know Kenny Pickett's play has been horrible. But guys, if you look at the tape, you can see a real problem, especially Sunday with that offensive line. Excuse me. The offensive line play, guys, was bad Sunday. Dan Moore Jr. got ate up. He got totally destroyed, if you ask me. Mason Cole, that pressure that's coming up the middle, it may not always get right to Kenny. It may not always be where the sack comes from. But that pocket is pushed back so far and collapsing on Kenny so quickly with Mason Cole there that it's forcing him to spin and turn and look for different ways out. He's not able to get that 1.5, 2 seconds that a quarterback needs to process that entire field. He's not getting it. And Mason Cole is a problem. And I think that's where the Steelers need to turn next, is to get Mason Cole out of there, slide James Daniels into that spot, and maybe bring in a Herbig or somebody else. Spencer Anderson's on the roster. Maybe bring him in. Give him a try. He's a young guy. And try to mix something else up. You brought Broderick Jones in. I thought Broderick played well, but he had his moments Sunday to where he failed. And there was big-time pressures, and he let up, I think, a sack or two. And let up a lot of pressure, I thought. In the run game, I thought he played stellar, though. I thought he really provided a big-time spark there. He was part of that springing Jalen Warren for that big 74-yard run. I thought Isaac Samalu, a guy that was brought in that was supposed to be a big-time upgrade, I thought he played poorly. I really do. I felt like he was getting pushed back and manhandled a lot in this football game. A lot. I felt like he looked confused at times. A guy that's an all-pro type guy. I thought he just looked out of it sometimes and didn't have a clue. And again, guys, maybe this stems to Matt Canada and his offensive scheme and his way of calling protections built within the play. Because we know when the quarterback's up there, he's calling protections. He's calling ways to block at the line of scrimmage. He's taking the time to read the defense or look at the defense, and he's trying to call the right protections. They call an initial protection in the huddle, and then the quarterback can change that protection and slide the protection up at the line of scrimmage. And maybe Kenny wasn't afforded that opportunity. I'm not sure. Maybe he's calling into the wrong protection. Maybe the protections that Matt Canada has built in for audibles were wrong. I'm not sure. But you can see that offensive line and its big-time holes. And yes, they were playing the Browns' defense. It's a good defense. It has a good defensive front. Big guys with quick feet. And I get it. That's a tough football game. But in week 2, you were able to get the job done. I'm not sure why all of a sudden in week 11 you struggle that bad. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what changed. I'm not sure. Maybe the crowd noise was so bad that Kenny wasn't able to communicate that protection to his linemen. There could have been tons of variables. But all in all, if you look at the tape, the offensive line got a D minus to me in their overall performance. Yeah, there were some big runs, but I thought Jaylen Warren took care of a lot of that on his own when he was running the football, especially that 74-yard run. I will give Broderick Jones with a big block. I thought Darnell Washington sealed the inside. I thought everybody on the offensive line on that play really that was their best play of the game, if you ask me. That was their best effort throughout the game. Their best single play if you had to break everything down and pick a play. But if you're the Steelers, how do you fix it? Do you bring somebody else in off the bench? Do you move people around? Do you shuffle people around? Do you slide James Daniels back to the center spot where I think he plays best? What do you do if you're the Steelers? You got to fix it. And maybe just calling different protections is the way to fix it. Maybe getting the ball out quicker helps that offensive line and helps them start to build some more confidence again. I felt like they came out when Broderick came in and really started to play better. They looked much better as a whole, much better as a group. But last Sunday, they played bad. And it was a regression. And they regressed greatly, if you ask me. So where do the Steelers turn offensively now that Matt Canada's gone? Where do they turn for the offensive line answers? We're going to soon find that out. Mike Tomlin's press conference is coming up here shortly. If there's any hot takes from that or any important points, I'll be sure to come out with another video and report that. But I really want to hear your comments, guys. You guys have been doing great with the comments, and I got to commend you guys. The dude, he comments a lot. Perry Ellis, you comment a lot. Flyboy, you comment a lot. I appreciate that. So many other ones, guys. And if I forgot you, I'm not trying to. But you guys have commented so much. And you guys are really making the channel a hell of a lot better. And your comments are really good. And I may not agree with you on every one or every topic. But you guys that are commenting, all of you guys that are commenting and giving good points, you guys are really adding a lot to this channel and really bringing a lot, especially to me, in thinking and helping create content, really. CJ Wilson, he comments a lot. So many. And I'm forgetting guys, I know, but I'm just giving shout outs to people that I just randomly remember off the top of my head. Because there's so many of you that have commented. It's honestly becoming hard to keep up with for me. It's become tough to really keep up with the comments because you guys are putting so many in there and it's awesome, and I'm trying to answer them all as fast as I can, and as we grow it becomes harder to do that. But I will always, you guys that are commenting now and continually comment and contribute into the channel to help it grow, I will always comment back on your guys your stuff. I definitely will always make a conscious effort to do that because you guys are really what's building this channel and helping this channel grow so much, and I will never forget that. So I appreciate it so much how much you guys have helped me grow this channel. You are the reason the channel has grown so much. You guys, not me. I just randomly babble here and provide some topics to talk about here and there, but that's about it. I'm just a dude that likes to talk Steelers, and you guys have made life very fun for me in that regard, and that's awesome. All right, I'll get off the soapbox. I just wanted to give major props to our subscribers and to our viewers. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, man. There's so many cool folks on this channel that are talking Steelers in a fun way. And it's not like those big, huge channels to where nobody answers your comment. You're not getting all these crazy, snarky comments back. The guys on this channel, the girls on this channel, everybody answers back very respectfully, and it's more conversation than anything. It's not like bashing each other and beating each other down. Do we have bad comments here and there? Yeah, but I kind of monitor that. I don't take any down unless they're really bad. They have some like racial undertones or something like that I don't agree with, because I don't play that kind of crap. I like everybody to be on the same playing field. This is a channel where everybody can come to and talk, and that's how I am with that. I have my views, you have your views, but this is a place here at Mike Drop Sports that we can all come to and have a fun time and talk about our favorite football team. And that will always be the case here. And I appreciate it, guys. And again, like I said, I know that was like a long couple minute rant there about our subscribers and viewers, but I just had to really say all those things because I think that it's the most important part of any YouTube channel, and that's you guys that watch it, you guys that consume it. It's just what it is. Nothing happens without you guys. And these bigger creators, these bigger channels that are talking about Steelers, they need to remember that, I think. And I think sometimes they lose sight of that. And I want you guys to reel me back in if I ever lose sight of that, because I don't want to, and that's not the way I want to have run the channel. And so let's break it down, guys. Let's finish it up. We're going to maybe come out with another video today after the Mike Tomlin press conference if there's any type of big news. Maybe we'll even go live and get you guys involved and let you guys talk about Tomlin, the firing of Canada, Kenny Pickett's new path, now that he has the common denominator out of his hair, and maybe things change. And I want to hear what you guys have to say, or what you guys have to say, and put it in the comments. Like those comments up, and don't forget, guys, please hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. And I know sometimes we all forget, because I do too when I watch videos. We don't hit that like button, but that like button really helps put my videos out into the algorithm of YouTube, and that will help spread the channel even more and bring more like-minded individuals into our channel that like to talk Steelers. Oh, before I get off here too, Terrence Pickens, he always comments, and that dude got some good takes too, and I enjoy you, Terrence. Terrence, you really comment good things, and I like that, and I wanted to give you a shout out. You just popped into my head. You always provide quality content, comments whenever you put them on there, and I didn't want to forget you, Terrence. So shout out to Terrence Pickens. He's one of the guys that's been with me here for a while. I remember him from farther back, and he's always been a great commenter, great insight onto the Steelers, and he really provides a lot and helps a lot with the channel, and I really truly appreciate it. Even if you guys don't think you're helping a great deal, believe it or not. But like the videos, guys, share the videos, and really make sure that we hit that like button, because that's the most important thing. And if you're not subscribed already, subscribe. And until next time, peace.